Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weischadle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weischadle. Doug, football season is over. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams, and now I have to start studying my college basketball, getting ready for March Madness. It never ends. The studying never ends.
As soon as one big betting event happens and then ends, the next one starts. So get your brackets ready. It sounds like the college sports betting season has opened.
Yes.
I guess that's the way you got to look at it. When the Super Bowl ends and the NFL regular season finishes, that's when the tournament season opens for college basketball.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty fun Super Bowl.
It was actually one of the better ones.
I did very well in the game. I nailed the game. I did terrible on my prop bets.
I did terrible everywhere except in the real betting. I mean, we do the betting, the pick segment for the show, and we don't really talk about our real betting outside the show because we do the segment on the show for fun and for entertainment. And
can I just say, you nailed a prop bet. I don't even know how they phrased it, but someone other than a quarterback will throw a touchdown pass, and you nailed it.
Non-quarterback throwing a touchdown pass.
Yeah, and you nailed it. Good for you.
Well, ever since the Philly special, I've been seeing that play in not only just the Super Bowls, but in the playoffs, too. I saw it a couple times.
By the way,
the
Rams
playoffs.
tried a version of the Philly special, and Cooper Kupp, who made was the MVP of the Super Bowl, just threw a terrible pass to Stafford. So,
well, they finally found out something Kupp can't do.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can't throw a ball. But what was more interesting...
Catch the ball, run the ball, but he can't throw.
Joe Mixon, when he threw that touchdown pass, that was his first ever pass he threw.
Really? Oh, well,
didn't even do it in practice.
And he made you money.
He made me money. Made me a lot of money, too. That was actually kind of a nice thing to see. Even what was kind of weird was the botched extra point by the Rams.
Yeah.
Some of the books for me credited it as a 2-point attempt.
Oh, okay.
So I won that one, which was kind of an interesting twist on that kind. You know what? The fact that the holder threw the ball, I think, made it a 2-point event.
Yeah, I guess. So we'll talk about that in our pick segment. We'll have a recap of the Super Bowl and our entire betting NFL year. But we're also going to have a Beatin The House. We're going to have a book report. And for my interview, I'm talking with the legendary Paddy Power. I mean, he has something brand new called the American Sports Exchange. I think it's going to revolutionize daily fantasy, and he's going to tell us all about it. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Well, now that one of the two bigger sport betting events has occurred, we got the next one, March Madness. I was talking about the Super Bowl just a little while ago there. Sportsbooks have to take a look at customer retention. Now, the Super Bowl and March Madness are great customer acquisition tools. That's when you see all the special offers coming out.
I got to tell you, that's always great for the customers. Competition between sportsbooks is always great for customers because you get the best promos, you get the best bonuses. Just listen to our commercials. You know, you see all the bonuses and the matching deposit things and everything like that. So a lot of sportsbooks and a lot of casinos in your jurisdiction is always good for the customer.
Well, like I said, after the two big events, Super Bowl and March Madness, sportsbooks have to focus on retention more than acquisition because you're getting to a point in the sports calendar where the two biggies, the March Madness and the NFL, really aren't happening. I'm talking about the NFL as a whole, not just the Super Bowl, but there's not much of a betting season. I mean, you got MMA, you got
there's always
college
MMA.
basketball.
Yeah, I am shocked. I am shocked at
stuff.
what people specialize in betting in. I mean, we've heard people on certain radio shows saying, "Oh no, I specialize in MMA betting, and I specialize in." One guy said, "I don't bet on the hockey season. I bet on the hockey playoffs because he felt it was a whole different kind of sport." So I'm amazed at what people bet on.
Well, I have to admit,
or would specialize
with what you just said, with the guy saying he bets only on the NFL playoffs and not the regular season. I kind of have to agree with that because I can't watch regular season hockey. I love playoff hockey. That's the only time I really watch hockey.
It's so much faster.
It's also just a lot more hitting, too.
Yeah.
You know, the teams are more aggressive in the playoffs.
You can't be too aggressive because you don't want to be put in the penalty box in the playoffs.
No, or suspended or whatever.
So it's a different mindset.
Yeah. And NBA regular season is great for betting. It's not great to watch because the NBA regular season is just like NHL regular season. They're just trying to get to the playoffs. The season really begins at the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
But again, we're looking at what happens after these two big events. And one sportsbook may have figured out a way to not only acquire new customers after these two big sports betting events, but also retain customers. And that is by using holograms.
Okay, that's weird. Holograms. You mean like see-through light created people? Is that what you're talking about? Or symbols and stuff like that? I don't even know how they would do that.
The cryptocurrency betting operator, SportsBet.io.
Okay.
This is, like I said, cryptocurrency sports betting site.
Okay.
They have teamed up with a company to create holograms of their brand ambassadors. When you visit the website of sportsbet.io,
okay,
you will see, or you're going to start seeing more and more often, an image of their brand ambassador, you know, kicking out promos to you, giving you updates, event stuff. And the person that is being represented on the screen didn't even do that spot. It's a computer-generated AI image of the brand ambassador.
Well, is that a hologram or is that an
hologram.
Avatar?
No, that's a hologram.
I don't know the technical terms for these things.
It's technically called a hologram.
When you said hologram, I thought like a beam of light was going to come from my computer or my mobile device, and in my living room, some light-generated person would appear. That's when you said hologram. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Funny you should say that version.
And by the way, that would be creepy. Don't do that, please.
Funny you should say that version of the hologram. 4 different Super Bowl parties used holograms, and of the type you just said.
Oh, okay.
They had live broadcasts of a person beaming into the party, and they were a hologram.
All right.
Doing a pitch, doing a statement, or whatever they were doing for that party. And they were actually real holograms in that frame.
I would only allow that.
Star Trek holograms.
I would only allow that if you asked my permission, because that would freak me out.
Well, according to sportsbet.io,
all right,
they've actually already seen a 51% increase in click-through rates and customer retention by using these holograms on a test basis.
Hey, that's great. I mean, if it works, it works.
It's also
good.
kind of interesting because...
And to be fair, I have not witnessed this, so I don't know what exactly they're talking about.
It's only on the website. It'll be a pop-up of the brand ambassador. And they didn't take the brand ambassador into a studio to film it like everybody else has been doing.
Okay, so when I take a look at some person is going to be on my screen that wasn't filmed for that. It was generated from the likeness of that person.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
That's what this one means by hologram.
All right.
You're not talking to 3D Star Trek hologram kind of thing.
Because every time I think hologram, I think of R2-D2 and Princess Leia talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi. When I say hologram, that's what I mean by hologram.
Yeah.
So.
But no.
Okay.
But the Super Bowl parties did have that.
All right. Hey, good for them.
The reason why this sportsbook is exploring this is because it lowers production costs.
Well, certainly. I mean, if you don't have to hire people, but
does it lower the cost for the person that they hired to be the brand ambassador?
I mean,
you have to pay him less.
Certainly, a person has rights to their likeness, so I would guess they'd have to pay someone if you're going. But if it's not a real person, if it's a computer generated,
it's a brand ambassador.
It's a brand ambassador. Well, certainly they're
I'm assuming the contract has some kind of clause in there where X amount of money goes to them for use of their name, image, and likeness in terms of the hologram.
Sure.
I mean, it's not going to save them too much money, maybe just physical production costs. But, it's a different way of retaining customers and acquiring customers, too.
Hey, apparently it works. What, 51%?
So far.
All right. Hey, good for them.
Exit 2.
Haven't done this in a while for the eSports exit. We're going to do an eSports deal roundup.
Oh, okay. So
multiple deals have
tons of deals with eSports. Lots of deals
more than what we're going to be talking about here.
Okay, yeah.
So going to start off with Betway.
Okay. We had them on the show.
We've had them on the show.
Yeah, of course.
They are not only huge in the sports betting arena, but they are getting much, much bigger in the esports arena.
Okay.
Betway has renewed its partnership with the eSports Series Blast Premier. It's a 2-year renewal, and you will see Betway's branding across all 7 of Blast Premier events for the eSports Counter-Strike Global Offensive Series.
Okay.
They're also going to have a Power Picks prediction segment during tournament broadcasts.
Great.
You'll see Betway everywhere on Blast's broadcasts in South America. By the way, Blast Premier broadcast to several million viewers.
Okay.
That's huge for
I
Betway
see
again.
Betway all over hockey, and I don't know
That's
what it's
in
like.
America.
I don't know what it's like outside of the Northeast, but I think it's in Islanders games. I think it's mostly Islanders games, but Ranger games, Flyer games. I'm not sure about the Devils, but I'll take a look at them.
You may see some more with the Canadian sports betting.
Sure.
Down the road.
Sure. Yeah, no, I see Betway everywhere.
Gambit Esports announced a partnership, a 3-year deal with dietary supplements company Herbalife.
Huh. Okay.
Herbalife nutrition experts will be helping Gambit players develop individual nutrition and training programs.
Believe it or not, I think that's great. I think that's needed. I mean, look, I don't play a lot of esports, but I play online poker, and stamina is still an issue when it comes to online poker, especially because let me tell you something. 3rd, 4th hour of a tournament, I'm dragging. I don't care. I'm not even in a actual physical poker room. I'm at home in a comfortable area, but still, I got to get up and walk around and things like that.
One of the other parts of this deal is they're going to help the players maintain a high level of motivation.
See, that's what I need. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, maybe I should try some Herbalife.
Going to the next one, we
I
got
should
two
say
more.
Herbalife. I think I just said Herbalife. Yeah.
Esports organization Immortals secured a 3-year partnership with cryptocurrency exchange Bitstamp. There's your cryptocurrency with esports again.
Yeah.
Bitstamp becomes a founding partner of Immortals, as well as going to work with Immortals to create new content for the team's social media channels. And last but not least, I guess you can call Pokemon an esport.
Never think of Pokemon as an esport. Okay, but I guess anything can be an esport if it's in the right format.
Well, they actually have Microsoft Excel esports tournaments. People make the best spreadsheets for projects.
You're kidding.
No, I'm serious.
Really?
I actually had that as an exit.
I kind of remember you saying that, but really?
Yeah. And it's catching on, too.
I guess it's a good... Yeah, that'd be great in business schools, I would think.
I would assume that's who actually started
So
that.
people have these tournaments with Microsoft Excel.
Yeah, you're given a project to put together.
And you can win money with this?
Yes.
Wow.
There's prizes.
Oh, okay.
But going back to Pokemon, I guess these are one of the original esports people, I guess you can call it this. The Pokemon Company announced details for the 2022 Pokemon Unite Championship Series. Tournament will consist of a series of qualifying events every month beginning this month, and will conclude with the World Championships in London and a prize pool of $1 million.
Wow.
For playing Pokemon.
I remember the cards.
Well, they have the cards, but also Pokemon Go. Remember the app that had people walking into each
wasn't
other
that
on the
people
streets?
walking around the streets looking for Pokemon?
That's exactly, the type of thing.
I remember that. Okay.
Exit 3.
We're going to talk a little bit about some more NFTs.
Non-fungible tokens.
We got 2 drops to talk about.
Okay.
I guess that's the right way to say that.
2
2
drops.
NFT drops.
Okay.
Bud Light
All right.
and World Poker Tour.
I heard about the World Poker Tour one.
Both launching new products.
All right.
And this is why the NFTs are being used.
All right.
Bud Light has launched a brand new beer called Bud Light Next. It's a 0-carb, 80-calorie, 4% alcohol beverage volume. The level of alcohol beverage, 4%.
All right. I got to
Called
taste it.
Bud Light Next.
So they have a NFT with it.
To
I'm not an owner.
The beer,
they
created the NFTs.
Okay. Well, I'm not an owner of an NFT, but this might be the NFT. I got to own an NFT. I mean, everyone's going into the NFT thing, so I own no NFTs. This might be a good one to own. So is this going to be expensive kind of thing, or
if you've got $399 to buy an NFT with, and you want beer, that's what these are going to cost. $399.
You just talked me out of it.
And
see, I thought this was going to be cheap. I thought it was going to be involved with a Bud Light thing. I think
they have created a token that's a 2-part background, And what happens is when you buy this token for $399,
All right.
the format and the system that this NFT is on will randomly generate the token for you.
All right.
And it's an animated token reflecting beer, culture, gaming, whatever happens to pop up there for that token. $399 each. They're going to release about 12,700 of these tokens. And what they will allow you to do is you can participate on the Bud Light Discord channel to vote on upcoming promotions. You can get some you can get early access to deals. You can get merchandise, all that sort of stuff. It's a gateway to Bud Light's promotional wheels.
So you're getting something for your $3.99. Plus, I would guess these would be considered collectibles.
They're collectibles, and you can't transfer them either.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's kind of unusual for an NFT. And also Bud Light put a limit on how much you can buy. Every person has a $10,000 cap. That's as much as you can spend, so you can't gobble them all up.
Okay, all right.
So
corner the market on Bud Light NFTs.
Kind of interesting thinking by Bud Light to do that.
Yeah, I mean, are they getting a good response from this, or
they just launched it? They just launched it.
All right. Yeah.
And World Poker Tour launched poker's first NFT club, the Poker Heroes Club.
See, this sounds pretty good.
No information on how much these are costing.
Okay.
But the Poker Heroes Club, when people buy the NFT associated with the Poker Heroes Club, they're going to be able to use the NFT as their in-game avatar on the World Poker Tour Global Client, which is WPT's new online platform for fans and poker players.
Great.
WPT is going to be auctioning 9,999 NFT avatars.
All right.
The first 250 are going to be available pre-sale.
Now, will we get a chance to get a sneak peek of what these things look like, or
I haven't seen any images for these.
I should
things.
go to I would assume World Poker Tour website.
Well, they have a generic picture of World Poker Tour stuff.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
But
let's take a look.
Same thing with NFTs. You get access to tournaments. You get giveaways. There's an exclusive members-only club online for NFT holders. You get chances to play against Steve Aoki, Vince Van
by the
Patten, Lynn Gilmartin,
Sure.
Tony Dunst.
Steve Aoki made some news with an NFT. I don't think it was a WPT NFT. He had an NFT worth about $800,000. He told people he had.
Yeah, and also he's actually using NFTs as part owner of one of those fan-controlled football teams.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. No, Steve Aoki's a ambassador with World Poker Tour, and
he's big in NFTs.
Big in NFTs.
And I have to get more information on this. So in the future exit for NFTs, I'll talk about the Evil Knievel NFT series coming.
Oh, yes. Okay. I want to hear about that one.
Exit 4.
Staying in the poker realm, we have a brand new app that aims to sportify the game of poker.
Can I just say something? This is going to annoy a lot of poker players because
the traditional poker players.
Because they say poker's a sport. It's not gambling because there's some thought process involved. There's some strategy, and it's not all just to the whim of the cards. So when you say sportifying poker, a lot of people are going to say, you know what, poker's already a sport.
You know why they're saying sportify poker?
By the way, those are not our words. Those are the sportifying poker are the words of, I guess, the marketing people of this thing. Right?
I was thinking about this after reading about the app, and I think what they mean by sportifying poker is allowing the data to be available. Data streams.
Well,
just like real sports.
Well, explain to people what we're talking about here.
All right. Match Poker Online is the name of the app, and they've created a unique way of playing poker on this app.
And this is online.
This is online only, through the app only.
Okay.
The game has players on the platform playing the same hands. So if you're sitting at like seat 1 on an online poker table, and you're playing against your table A.
Okay.
Player 1 in the same position at table B will be playing against people on his table, but he will be dealt the exact same hand.
Okay. And I guess this game or this activity will see who has the best strategy to play the same poker
You
hand.
earn points when
Okay.
you do your, because you're not only playing against your table, you're playing against the same guy, the same person in your seat at the other table.
I got to be honest with you. If you're trying to learn poker and really understand the strategy, this might be very beneficial because, players don't play the same cards the same way. So,
Well, you will
should
have
be
access
interesting.
to all the data of not only your hand, but other people's hands who's played the exact same hand.
Okay.
So you get to see how other people play the same hands while playing against them. And like they're doing something like a fantasy sports point system
Yeah.
against the other, when you're playing against the other person in the same seat.
The only difficulty is that playing the same hand as the same person is, you're going to play the same hand differently because your opponent's playing differently than this other guy's
Right.
opponent. So it's kind of interesting. Kind of.
But you
I'm
gotta remember-
curious to see how this looks and how this works out.
You got to remember
Yeah.
the people in the other seats are playing against people in the other
Sure,
seats.
sure,
So everyone's playing against somebody else not at that table.
Okay.
And it's going to be kind of, I guess, odd
Yeah.
for some people to start playing this.
It takes a little while to conceptualize what the whole idea behind this app is, but I kind of understand it now. It's sure you have the same cards, but you're gonna play differently, against different people and different circumstances, I guess.
Well, after the launch, the year is going to be split up into seasons with players battling to move through the rankings toward a place on their country's national team, which then will have a national event tournament.
Okay.
So it'd be match poker having international tournaments after doing, I guess, qualifying rounds.
All right,
If you want to
yeah.
call it that.
I mean, I'd check it out. I mean, I'd try it. I'd see what it's all about.
And it's all overseen by the International Federation of Match Poker, who, by the way, I have read about, they're trying to get poker declared as an Olympic sport.
Good.
I don't know if that's even going to be possible.
Well, that's the talk of years and years. That goes back to the whole argument, poker is a sport. It's just not random, and there's thought and strategy and things like that involved. So.
And like we said, players are going to have the access to the database of how all these hands are being played, not just the ones they played, but other people's.
Like I said, I
played.
think it's a good teaching tool.
They're also going to have a famous hands directory.
Oh, okay.
Where people will be able to relive some of the biggest hands in poker history and replay them themselves. You're going to be able to play the famous hand.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be kind
That's
of
pretty
interesting
cool.
to
I
watch.
like
that one is kind of fun.
I like that element of it.
That one may catch on more so than the
Yeah,
rest of the app, but we'll see what happens.
And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, we got a Beatin The House segment. We have a pick segment. We're going to recap the Super Bowl and our year of NFL betting. We're going to have a book report. But right after this, I'm talking with Paddy Power. He has something absolutely amazing called the American Sports Exchange. I think it's going to revolutionize daily fantasy, and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk to him right after this. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here.
Use offer code SPICE404.
They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. I'm excited to talk to our next guest because anyone involved in gaming or is a fan of gaming has heard the name Paddy Power, and he has been involved in some of the most innovative products and platforms in the gaming industry. And he has done it again with a company called American Sports Exchange, or ASX for short. And to tell us all about this incredible new venture, we have the man himself, Paddy Power, on the line. Paddy, thanks for joining us.
No bother, Dave. Thanks for having me.
As I said, you're well known in the gaming industry, and I think everyone knows your name and especially your work with Flutter Entertainment. But I think what you created with American Sports Exchange brings gaming to a really new level. I mean, for people who aren't familiar with ASX, what is ASX?
So, ASX is, I guess, it's kind of like next generation fantasy sports that basically turns into an NFT sports exchange. So we're kind of trying, the grand vision that we have to enable the gamification of NFTs in sport, right? Because that's kind of the sexy thing, that's the sexy space now, isn't it? Because it's this irresistible technology that's made these things possible, that, you know, it's kind of suddenly blockchain technology is useful, whereas before it was just a great concept and cool, but now suddenly say, wow, this is how it actually works. So it's like any kind of technological advance, this is the kind of that stage of its evolution. And I think what we've created with ASX is actually pretty funky, and it's quite on it, and it does bring that kind of fan engagement and all these marketing buzzwords, but it does bring that to a next level, I think, and it's pretty exciting. It's an exciting time, you know.
What was the genesis of American Sports Exchange? I mean, were you thinking about this for a while? Did this just come to you? Was there a sector in the gaming market that just wasn't being served? What was the idea behind the creation of ASX?
So I always thought, like Paddy Power spent like first 25 years of my career as kind of my family business, if you like. Well, initially was a family business from my father or whatever. I'm a fourth generation bookie at this stage, which is all very boring. But anyway, Paddy Power was always famous for a very innovative approach to the industry, which is why it was such a successful company, which ultimately became Flutter. And that was within marketing mainly, which is where I spent most of my career, but actually within like product development and things like that too. Now I felt that as gaming, the big gambling companies grew, I felt that, you know, the competition, there wasn't probably maybe enough attention given to the evolution, if you like, of gaming or gambling. Really, it was like, you know, different products but all within the same kind of remit. So I always felt that we were missing something. Now I'm not clever enough to know what that thing was, I'm nowhere near it, but and I also was thinking like that, you know, this new technology, well, it's not new anymore obviously, but at the time this new technology, blockchain, that you're hearing all about and trying to read about or whatever, sure. I was kind of going, this is like, it's so amazing what it allows. It allows a kind of a really the erasing of the middleman, if you like. It brings people much closer together, in theory, blockchain technology. And I was thinking, if we could in some way use that in a sports entertainment type of space, not necessarily a gambling space at all, but a sports entertainment type of space, what does that look like? And I was talking then to my co-founder of ASX, which is a very clever person called Oren Rigby, who's like a Churchill scholar and a professor of every bloody thing, about 25 letters after his name. And we were talking about this, and after he explained things to me about 400 times, I finally started to understand and realize that, you know, there is a huge, not even a gap in the market, but this is a space that's just going to grow and grow. And NFTs is also going through that stage of being a very, very kind of sexy and very, very talked about, I guess, development in sports sponsorship or in sport generally. And there's naysayers and people saying this can't work, it's all a scam, and other people saying this is it, this is everything, it's the future of everything, you know. But there's a 95% in the middle that aren't the extremists, And that's where I think there's huge development and huge opportunity for fans to get more involved and to own a bit more of their beloved teams, and for the teams themselves and the athletes themselves and the leagues themselves and service providers like ourselves to kind of tap into that and make that possible. So getting into that space, and NFTs, I always think is such a broad area, because we just think of NFT of that trading card or that bit of art or whatever you read about, but actually it's just, there's like an infinite amount of verticals within NFT, if you like, and this what we've created is just one of them. So effectively what we've done is we've created I describe what it's like, what ASX is, if you like, in terms of how it manifests itself. That's a good way of trying to give a description I can't show you it on the radio, but I can tell you about it. So basically what we've done is we've created a virtual stock exchange for sports players. So what we do is we use an algorithm to IPO, so basically to set a stock price for players on a team based on their past performance. And then what happens is you play the game this is the fantasy sports part of it at the minute. You play the game, you get 1,000 mythical dollars, you invest that in buying stocks and shares in the various players who are going to play the match you're going to watch, and you invest your 1,000 quid, and the person with the most valuable portfolio at the end wins. So it sounds like DFS, right? Except the difference is, because we've got live sports feeds rights with Sport Radar and with Rugby Pass and Rugby, and that's plugged into our exchange. It means that you can trade during play as well. So that kind of makes it just a bit better than traditional DFS, where it was like you set your team, you hope for the best, and you see how you did afterwards. This way you can say, actually, I don't like the way he's throwing today, or they don't look on it, so I'm going to trade him, sell him, and buy him instead, or her, or whatever. And it just makes it a bit more engaging and a bit more compelling, and you've got a bit more control over it. And that is a really, really compelling kind of fan engagement tool. And when that moves, so effectively from an NFT perspective, you're kind of selling shares in your favorite player's performance. So you own a bit of that performance from that day or whatever. And I think that's quite an interesting way to look at it,
You mentioned it during the interview, and you mentioned it during another interview, and I love the way you put it. With ASX, you're gamifying the trading of NFTs, and I think that's such a great way to say it. And it seems like this is such a great advancement in the gaming industry. And I know whenever someone brings a new technology and a new way to do something, there are always challenges that have to be overcome. What were some of the challenges and what were some of the hurdles that ASX had to overcome in creating the technology for this platform?
Yeah, it's funny, from someone who couldn't write even a fraction of a line of code, it's kind of, you say to the techie people, yeah, this is what we want to do, so if you can just do that, could you have it for me by next week? But apparently it's not that easy. So there's quite a lot goes into, there's obviously all the data and all that kind of stuff that we have to get our hands on as rights holders. And there's all sorts of kind of hurdles that have to be gotten over. And interestingly, we've managed to do it quite quickly. So we had a crowd fund back in probably about a year ago now, actually, but around maybe April last year, and we raised about $3 million in Dublin in Ireland. It was the fastest ever crowd fund on the Spark crowdfunding platform, whatever, which was great. It's a great endorsement that people were willing to get in behind it and back it. You have over 1,000 investors, and so you've got a great kind of market there already where people are going to be your advocates. And then we built the thing, we built the team, and we built the tech. And the tech is the thing that's taken the longest, as we would expect. Sure. And that's a real. It has been a challenge, but we feel like we've got there now. I mean, it's only going to get better as we grow and as we get more funding and get bigger and bigger. All that stuff you reinvest and it gets bigger. But in terms of like a new technology and pushing the envelope, you do find there are plenty of Luddites out there, but actually, I think kind of culturally, people are ready for this, and culturally, I think younger people are more. What's the word? I mean, if you look at, say, the culture around, say, eToro investing and all that kind of stuff, people are more are happier to take control of their own entertainment and affairs and things like that. And I think that's really helping with new technologies, because they get adopted, I think, a bit quicker than they would have traditionally.
In the same vein of that, one of the great things about ASX platform is the flexibility you give to the person to make a trade. Can you go over that a little bit and how a person can make trades based on the fantasy scoring system on the platform?
Yeah, sir. So 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's. So I always forget that, just people listening probably haven't seen ASX yet. So I obviously have spent a lot of time on the platform. So effectively, what you do is you have you as I described, you buy your investor, build your portfolio of players effectively, and then you trade them. You sell them or buy them during play or whatever. What you're trying to do is build up the value of your portfolio. Some players, the players will earn dividends for you, and their value will go up and down based on their performance on the pitch. So there's certain players will, if they have a good game, that'll be reflected in the value of your trades and your portfolio. And equally, if they play less well than the algorithm would expect them to play, then they'll underperform and they'll lose value. So that's kind of the trading part of it, and it's just the ease of trade. I mean, it's like trading on a normal stock exchange. It's obviously all virtual, but it's like a normal stock exchange where it's just very simple. I mean, it's a touch of a button to buy or to sell or whatever, and there's like some very small parameters. You have to have at least 3 players in play. You can't just invest everything in one player. A few little simple things like that. But it's a pretty easy game to play, and it's quite engaging, and you can set up little mini leagues with your friends and things like that, where you can just have a little bit of fun, like slagging Dave because his portfolio is now worth half my portfolio or whatever, So it's a good bit of fun to be had with it.
Well, I know we're throwing around the term NFTs, and I just want to make sure people understand what we're talking about. It's non-fungible tokens, which is such a fun term to say, by the way. And ASX really utilizes this brand new technology on the platform, as we have been talking about. Can you explain a little more how ASX uses the NFTs on their platform for people who aren't real familiar with non-fungible tokens?
Okay, so what we're building in the background, and what we will have is our next bit of ASX that'll be live will be a kind of a new take on the game with the exact same mechanics as I explained, but the way it'll work is you'll buy NFTs in players as we described buying stocks and shares, buy NFTs in players, and then what you'll do is you'll have your stable of players, and you'll put them onto the pitch. Say you'll have 5 players on a pitch at one stage, and you play them, and you can take them off and put them on, but you have to own the NFT in the player to be able to put that player as part of your team. And once again, they'll earn dividends, and their performance based on fantasy scoring, their performance will increase their value. There'll be more demand for the NFTs in that player, because obviously he's a high scoring player who earns plenty of dividends, and then there'll be bonus payments for team of the week and all that kind of stuff as well. So I guess one way to thinking about what the NFTs we're talking about, because obviously NFTs can be anything, can't they? They really can be anything. The NFTs that we're talking about are the owning their performance of the players that you have an NFT stake in, and I think that's interesting, because it really gets you close to your favorite players or the players you want to beat. It also makes you think, like, you might really like a player, but if he's playing badly at the moment, you're thinking, God, that loyalty, like, will I get rid of him? Shall I sell him? Much as I'd say a manager or a sports agent has to think that way as well,
Now, gaming is data-driven, and a platform is only as good as the information presented. Now, recently you made a deal with Sport Radar, which is an industry leader when it comes to data. What does that mean for your customers when they use your platform?
It's fantastic for us, and funny enough, we were actually a graduate of a Sport Radar Accelerator program. So where that's basically a program for kind of scale ups and startups, whereby they take you under their wing and they give you, they've freed sports data rights, and then certain companies will kind of be considered graduates and go out into the real world and have to pay them, unfortunately, for the data rights, and which is where we are now, which is great that we've got to the stage where we've graduated and we're considered a real grown-up company now. But so what that means is that we get live data feeds from various, like all the different sports that Sport Radar distributes. So basically Sport Radar are a big company who buy the sports rights to lots of different sports and then distribute them amongst other people who use those rights. So we're now one of the companies who has access to the Sports Radar data, and that's what powers That's what allows us to do live in-play trading. If we didn't have that, it would just be a normal DFS product. But because we have these sports rights, we can just plug in, and you can plug it in. It doesn't matter what sport it is. At the moment, our big push is on rugby, but it doesn't matter what sport it is. If it's NFL or whatever it might be, just plug it in, and the data basically does what data does, and it powers the algorithms and allows the algorithm to do its job and price up the markets.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned rugby. I mean, lately I've been flipping through television channels, and I'm seeing more and more rugby. And I'm sitting here in New Jersey, and I'm starting to see a lot more rugby. And ASX has already been active with the sport of rugby with your contract with Sky New Zealand's rugby platform called Rugby Pass. Can you tell us about that deal and what people are experiencing with your collaboration with Rugby Pass?
Yeah, I can. And the weird thing is, if you ask me, if you ask anyone, I guess, name the biggest sports in the States, I would say rugby might never ever get a mention. But actually, believe it or not, the US is the biggest market for rugby in the world. I think that says a lot about the size of US rather than rugby. But rugby is really fast growing over there, so I'm not surprised you're seeing it all the time. But anyway, I digress, but anyway, the Rugby Pass deal that we've done has been massive for us as well, because what this has done, this has allowed us. So Rugby Pass is as you said, it's owned by Sky, and it's got a huge network of fans and followers or whatever. So we've partnered with them. So first of all, we get the live data from Rugby Pass, which allows us to have a much more dynamic game than we would have had otherwise, because now we've got 6,000 different data points in any one match. So it means that rugby's a relatively complicated game with regards to not that many players on the pitch may score points, but they might play very well by doing things like making a big tackle or making a line break. And there's various little things that now we can reward those because we have the data which allows that to happen automatically. So it just means that there's much more movement and fluctuation in the prices, and we're actually rewarding the unsexy guys on the pitch who don't get all the applause. They're not the captain or the quarterback type people, but the props and the people who just basically do their job and be unmovable. They now get rewarded for playing well too, and that makes the game a bit more exciting. And that's been facilitated by the fact that we now have that data, this is just a perfect example of how technology makes things possible. It just would be impossible to do this unless you had that live, immediate data feed. So it's exciting for us. So there's a big tournament called the Six Nations, which is starting over here in the UK between Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, and France. And Italy, sorry, I always forget Italy, but they always finish last. But anyway, again, and France, that's a huge, it's probably the biggest Northern Hemisphere, it is the biggest Northern Hemisphere rugby tournament, and that's kicking off this weekend. So we're really excited about that, because it's 4 million Rugby Pass fans will be exposed to ASX, and hopefully they might like it. And we got plenty of players playing on the platform. Can only be a good thing.
By the way, the Six Nations Championship, I'm sure you know, is being broadcast on NBC and Peacock streaming, so it's going to get a ton of viewers, I think. So when it comes to rugby and the Six Nations Championships, what can people expect from ASX? What are you doing special for the Six Nations Championships?
So we've a number of different. We've basically got the games with prizes to be won in all the various matches and all the various games of the Six Nations. So it's a great chance to have a look at the product and see. Now, obviously, there's lots of other sports live on the platform too, but just the rugby is the one that we've the big marketing push behind at this occasion, because we have those rights with Rugby Pass. But I would encourage, if I'm allowed to do a blatant plug, I would encourage people to download the app and have a look and just see what you just see what you think. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. There's nothing I can do about that. But I think have a look, because it could be something that might just pique your interest. It's good fun to play.
I was reading your press release, and I also saw something you're launching, something called Sports Coins. What are Sports Coins, and how can people get involved with that?
Yeah, so sports coins. We're rewarding people with sports coins and obviously the real prizes at the moment, because as I mentioned earlier, the NFT part of ASX will be coming down the line very shortly, and sports coins will be very important with regard to buying NFTs. So these sports coins will have a value in the very near future. So you may as well amass them for nothing while you can, because we're giving them away for nothing at the moment. So you may as well get a few of them in your back pocket, and then you'll be able to use them when the NFT part of ASX gets launched.
I've always said one of the bigger emerging markets in gaming is esports. What are ASX plans when it comes to esports? I mean, what can people expect from American Sports Exchange when they want to get involved in the esports sector of the market?
Yeah. Yeah, so at the moment, esports is one of the verticals that we will be developing. We've basically signed a partnership deal already. Actually, one of the first deals we did with an esports company. We sat down and talked to them, and they were eBet Sports, and we were talking to them, and they were so excited about what we were doing, and it's just an area that we think is ripe for exactly the type of product that we have. And so that will be something that we'll be developing in the future. Mm-hmm. It's not in the next few months or anything like that. I mean, our next steps is to basically build out rugby, to go do a Series A raise and get some money together, and then be able to use that to go and basically to execute. And we've got commercial deals on the table with loads of different sports clubs and leagues from around the world and various different sports, because as I mentioned, it's like, this works for once you plug in the data. It kind of doesn't matter which sport it is, it just works. So what we're doing is doing a Series A raise to get some money together, executing all those deals, and esports will be one of those verticals. And I think, funny enough, esports is one of the ones I'm most excited about, because I think it's a very under-tapped part of the business, I think.
My home state of New Jersey became the first state government to sanction a peer-to-peer esports betting event, which is going to be held in March at the Hard Rock Casino in Atlantic City. Do you think more and more states will allow this in the near future? And do you think that will help the growth of ASX in the esports market?
I think it will. Yeah, I mean, I think this is like it's going that way, isn't it? I mean, It's just going everything is going towards be more open, isn't it? I mean, even within gaming, but esports as well. I mean, for me, it's mad. That there's universities with esports arenas that seat 10,000 and stuff like that. It's really just so different. Yeah, so this with our deal with esports technologies, that's the sort of things that we've been talking about, how everything is just opening up, and the opportunities are going to be there. So yeah, I see it going that way. I mean, esports it's I mean, once there's an audience and people love it, I mean, it's a thing, right?
Yeah, it's amazing in this country. And I want to ask about how you're going to market yourself in the U.S. I know recently you opened up a office in Miami. What are your plans for the U.S.? I mean, do you have target states that you want to open up in first? Do you have certain dates for when you want to go live in a particular state? What are your plans for the United States?
Yeah, I think, as you said, so we've opened up our HQ is in Miami now, which is great because Miami's a real kind of tech hub. It's kind of and especially in the blockchain space. And I think that's important for us, just in terms of talent, attracting talent, if you like, but also in terms of attracting investment and that kind of thing. There's a lot of kind of clever money, if you like, down around there, which might help us grow quickly. And then it's kind of almost state agnostic. I mean, there's all the states where DFS is where we can operate now, and that's great, and that basically opens everything to us. I mean, as I said earlier, our big play is on rugby, but all the rugby fans are also fans of NFL and baseball and whatever, and other sports too. So, it's just a big push onwards and upwards, and we're kind of looking at it more from a sport. If you look at verticals, we're looking at it from a sport, what sport we're going to launch next, rather than what state we're going to launch it next, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna nail rugby, and then we'll be straight into basketball and to some of the big usual sports as well.
Now, when people see how you're doing rugby, is that a good indication of how you'll treat other sports as well? I mean, I know every sport is unique and they all have unique data, but are the same concepts and the processes going to be used the same way for all sport leagues as you're doing in rugby?
Yeah, 100%. And we'll learn as we go as well, I guess. But yeah, that's the plan would be in whatever your sport is, we're going to have basically a virtual stock exchange where you buy stocks and shares, and the value of your portfolio is based on the performance of the players in your portfolio based on a fantasy sports scoring system. It's kind of simple as that. So rinse and repeat.
Now, I know from doing this show and also being a gaming attorney, one of the challenges in the the whole gaming industry is getting licensed and regulated in each state. I know when you have a unique product like ASX, one of the more difficult things to do is explain and outline your product to the regulators in each state, because your product is so unique and it's not the traditional daily fantasy or not the traditional sports betting platform. Has it been a challenge to explain yourself to the regulators in each state in order to get regulated?
Well, funny enough, the way we've approached that is that we pay lots of money to lawyers and let them do it. So it's
always a good plan.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because it's one of those ones where it is obviously it's tricky, I guess, and I think we're considered a DFS rather than sports betting, which is easier, obviously, and it's still free to play at the minute, right? So there's no real issues there. But yeah, so we have a team of lawyers. Sorry, not a team of. We don't have a team of lawyers. We have engaged a law firm who is looking after it on our behalf. So I'm presuming they're doing their job, and I haven't got any scary emails from them saying to stop doing what we're doing. So as far as I'm concerned, we're good.
I'm curious about the marketing yourself to the U.S. Is it different than marketing yourself to the European market? Are you taking a different approach to the U.S. market as you did to the European market?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess so for me personally, right? So my background would always have been mainly in marketing, so I'm quite experienced in it. Sadly, as an industry veteran, I've been called. But anyway, I guess the difference here is you're starting with something new, whereas in my career, so up to before with say with Paddy Power and other brands within the Flutter family, then you're kind of coming from a big strong background behind you. So yes, where marketing now is kind of, I guess, it's done more in a. I'm not going. What's the best? It may be a cleverer way. It's obviously more online marketing. We're doing it through partnerships. Say with Rugby Pass is a perfect example. So part of our deal, Rugby Pass, is that they will market to their audience on our behalf. And I think that's kind of how it will work. I mean, if we do partnership deals with various sports teams, I mean, we will probably pay them money for them to market our product with their customers, if you like, and then there'll be some sort of revenue share with them thereafter. And then when we get to the stage, I'd love to get, hopefully this time next year, we'll be back on here and we'll have nationwide campaigns and we'll be spending tens of millions on marketing every month. But at the moment, we're not quite there yet.
Well, you predicted my next question. Where do you see ASX in the coming year? Because, and by the way, that's a purely selfish question because I'm sitting here in New Jersey and I can't wait to try this. So I'm really eager to hear your plans. Yeah,
so everything going to plan like this time next year, we should grow very, very quickly. We've come from like two men and a dog to a team of like 36 people now with offices in Miami and Dublin and London. So we've grown very quickly in less than a year. And I think that's the type of space we're playing in, it's basically go big or go home, and it'll happen very, very quickly. So I think the next steps for us is that we secure next funding round. That allows us to we have commercial deals on the table, literally ready to press play. That allows us to go and execute on 9 different deals that are realistically going to happen very quickly. That being the case, then hopefully it all gathers pace, and then everybody wants a piece of us, and then we're partnered up with leagues and teams, and we're kind of a household name. That's where you'd like to be. You'd love to become like one of my dreams, like the ASX stock prices are like the Bloomberg stock prices ticking across the bottom of the screens when you're watching sport,
Paddy, we're running out of time, but can you give out your website so people can get more information on American Sports Exchange and to follow what you're up to?
Yeah, of course. So asx.ai is the website, and then obviously go on the App Store or the Google Play or whatever, and you can download the app ASX Sports, and it's worth a look. I mean, make your own mind up. I'll be confident that you like it.
And the app is available for both Android and Apple, correct?
100%, yeah.
Paddy Power from American Sports Exchange, thank you so much for coming on and telling us all about ASX. I think it's an incredible platform, and I think it's really going to shake things up in the gaming industry. And like I said, I can't wait to try it, so please come back on and update us about what's going on with ASX. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Dave. Take care.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to beangenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometimes.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beatin The House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's Beatin The House segment, where not only do we have our normal discussions of jackpots for slot machines and what have you with all the different lotteries and casino games out there, we got a very interesting story that happened out in Nevada.
Well, I'm assuming this jackpot story made all the news. I mean, it made the news in Boston, it made the news in New Jersey, it made the news in Pennsylvania, it made the news everywhere.
It made the news, and it's continuing to make news because it just was done. It was just resolved.
Yes.
What happened was a visitor from Arizona to the Treasure Island Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas was playing the I'm trying to see exactly what the slot machine was because I don't have it in my notes anymore.
I got to be honest with you, I saw no mention of what slot machine it was.
That's what I was trying to figure it out, but I can't find it. But anyway.
I heard maybe because one of the reasons why this happened was a malfunction of the slot machine.
Of the communication system of the slot machine.
I don't even know.
Well, when you win a jackpot on a slot, you usually get a sign on the screen of the slot machine's call attendant. Okay. And it has the amount you won.
Okay.
And everything freezes on that machine until the attendant gets there.
Oh, okay. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened with this guy.
What are we talking about here now?
Well, the visitor from Arizona, Robert Taylor, was playing at the Treasure Island Hotel and Casino, and he played a certain slot machine, whatever it was, and he left the casino and he went back home to Arizona.
Thinking he didn't win anything.
What happened was he had won $229,368 on the slot machine he was playing, and due to what we just talked about, a communication error, he didn't know, no one at the Treasure Island knew. I don't even think the slot manufacturer knew because they even get notices. Mm-hmm. So no one knew at that time, but it was recorded somewhere.
Okay.
So what happened was the Nevada Gaming Control Board did an investigation. I guess they got a report digitally from the casino that this happened, but it wasn't paid out. So they did an investigation. They tracked down all the records involved. They were able to identify this guy through the members club card records and security film, all that stuff. And they tracked him down back home in Arizona, and they notified him, hey, you won $229,000 and didn't even know it.
Can I just say, great job, Nevada Gaming Control Board. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to work. They did such a great job in tracking this guy down. And, they really did a fantastic job looking out for the customers of the casino.
Not
way to go. Way to go, Nevada Gaming Control Board.
Not only did the Nevada Gaming Board review the casino data, they reviewed the data from the ride-sharing system that he used.
I know. They did such a great job.
Bent over backwards.
They don't get enough
this.
credit for a lot of things. Nevada Gaming Control Board was outstanding, and they are a group of outstanding people who are making gaming in Nevada very, very. That's what makes the engine go, and good for them, Nevada Gaming Control Board.
Visitor friendly is what you're saying.
Well, I think
or player friendly, I should say.
They're the reason why Nevada gaming is so successful. They had 10 months of $1 billion industry. I mean, and because of the actions of the Gaming Control Board in large part, because they do their great job.
And to put a bow on this, he did return, got his winnings.
Good for him.
And they actually took a picture of him with the big check.
Great.
So congratulations, Mr. Taylor. You got your $229,000.
Hopefully they gave him a free room and
I don't know
things
what
like
they
that.
did. Other than just collecting the big check.
Boy,
I don't know.
The amount of publicity he's giving Nevada.
Well, we're going to stay on the West Coast now, moving over to the Desert Diamond West Valley. Last week we did a Desert Diamond Tucson. This one is Desert Diamond West Valley.
Boy, how many Desert Diamonds are there?
There's 4, I believe.
Okay. All right.
A very lucky guest at the Desert Diamond Casino West Valley took home $542,000 out of a progressive jackpot. Tim M. was playing Pai Gow Poker.
Boy, more Pai Gow Poker.
7-card straight flush that won the massive
I picked the right
jackpot.
time to start learning that game, huh? Boy, everyone's winning at Pai Gow Poker. Everyone except me, apparently. But
no word on whether this was a side bet or the actual game. And no word on the value of what his bet was when he placed it. But again, he won $542,000 on a progressive Pai Gow Poker jackpot. This is the second time, like I just said, we were talking about the Desert Diamond. The other one was a slot.
Okay.
This one was a table game, Pai Gow Poker. Now, sticking with the table game theme, we're going to go to the East Coast.
East Coast.
This is the very first one we're doing from this place,
right.
Encore Boston Harbor.
Yes, in Everett, Massachusetts.
Constantly being bombarded for their issues with their poker room.
Yeah, right.
A guest by the name of Steven hit a jackpot of $485,428 with a flush playing Let It Ride,
Wow,
another
that's pretty
table
good.
game.
Yeah, no, I've never played that. So
It's actually everywhere.
Well,
it's one of those.
Next time I go to Encore Boston Harbor, I'm going to check out Let It Ride. By the way, beautiful casino.
I was actually looking around just in Atlantic City, and I was looking around for it. And, they have it somewhere. I know all the Atlantic City casinos.
Oh yeah, they all have it. Yeah,
but I didn't see it when I was down there. But I was moving pretty quick everywhere. So, but again, big jackpot. I think Encore Boston Harbor has to be a little better in announcing these things. They just threw it up on their Facebook and Instagram.
Well, hey.
They didn't say exactly what the game he was playing. They didn't say. So I guess some of their social media people have to be a little bit better with that. That's the only criticism I have. Great job by announcing it, at least.
Well, look, hey, I like Encore Boston Harbor. So,
it's a beautiful place.
Beautiful place, great people working there. So, and congratulations, Steven, for hitting it. Let It Ride.
Moving down south now, we're going to the Bach-Oma Casino in Mississippi.
Wow, okay.
This is part of the Pearl River Resort network of casinos.
Okay.
And according to Pearl River Resort's director of PR, Erica Clemens Moore, Terry M. hit a jackpot of $419,754 while playing the Monopoly Money Platinum Edition slot machine.
Okay.
Now, that's kind of an interesting one because you don't see that one too often. Not a lot of casinos have that one, especially here on the East Coast.
I see Monopoly everywhere. I just don't know the different kinds of Monopoly games there are.
There's tons of them.
There's
almost
tons
as many as Wheel of Fortune or the Buffalo
There's so
machines.
many versions of Monopoly out there.
This one's the Platinum Edition.
Oh, that's the Platinum Edition. Okay.
Yeah, I know the big online one right now is the Monopoly Megaways, which is so many different features to win money off of. But this is the Monopoly Money Platinum Edition. Going out to the West Coast, we now have the Eagle Mountain Casino in Porterville, California, doing their monthly report on how many jackpots they gave out in the month of January.
Okay.
Eagle Mountain Casino paid out more than $3 million in jackpots during the month of January. One lucky winner from Porterville, the hometown of the casino itself. He's a local. $50,000. The casino awarded more than 1,300 jackpots, all adding up to $3.36 million.
When was it? What, for the entire year, though? Or
No, January only.
Oh, January only. Wow.
This is January
okay.
only.
Wow.
In 2001, since you just brought up the entire year,
give me the year, yeah.
they registered over $41 million
Wow.
given
Okay.
to 17,000 winners.
That's pretty good.
So it's kind of interesting to see a casino like that giving out that kind of cash in 1 month.
It's great. I mean, I would assume it's a smaller casino.
Yeah.
So, hey, good for them. I love those smaller casinos. They're great. I mean, especially for the local people there. It's such a great thing to have, like, your local small casino. That's like one of those places you hit after work and, or weekends you watch a game there or something like that. I love those casinos.
Heading back to Las Vegas, we have the Mohegan Sun Casino at Virgin Hotels, one of the brand new ones.
Sure.
While visiting the Mohegan Sun Casino at Virgin Hotels, that's the name of it. That's a mouthful of a name, too, by the way. George P. won the $100,000 jackpot while playing video poker.
All right.
So, another video poker jackpot. They don't say too much about what the games they're playing, because there are a lot of different variations on video poker.
Yeah, no, you can. Usually I play video poker when I go sit at the bar, and it's like right in front of me anyway. So, you can play the different versions of it.
Going back out to California in Santa Ynez, Chumash Casino Resort. And this isn't a jackpot per se, it's a prize.
Okay.
I just thought it was kind of interesting. I thought I'd include it. The Chumash Casino Resort surprised a guest Sunday. This was this past Sunday. 2 Sundays ago, by the time you're hearing this. A $50,000 prize as part of its quarterly giveaway event.
Okay.
He was playing part of the Fields of Green quarterly giveaway, and we've had this a couple times now. According to the guy's wife, the fortune cookie on their table when they had lunch said, "You will have financial freedom today."
And then they win.
They won the
$50,000.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So I thought that was kind of a unique combination of what we've been seeing lately as a giveaway and also a fortune cookie.
Yeah, by the way, you had another fortune cookie story a couple of weeks ago that a guy played the numbers in the fortune cookie and he won the lottery.
The Mega Millions.
Yeah, so I've been starting to read my fortune cookie now.
At least the back of
I've been eating
numbers.
a fortune cookie, and when I crack open the front, I've been reading it, and so I've been paying attention to fortune cookies now.
Our last 2 stories are lottery stories.
Okay.
We have one from the Michigan Lottery and one from the Virginia Lottery. By the way, we do a lot of Michigan Lottery stories.
Hey, they're great.
And this one happened in Clare County. Man stopped to pick up his usual scratch-off lottery tickets at a Midland gas station. And he plays 2 games usually, according to the story. He plays either the Ultimate Millions game or the 60 million cash blowout game offered by the Michigan Lottery. They're scratchers.
Okay.
They were out of both those games. So the 60-year-old bought the Lucky times 100. I guess that's how you say it. The Lucky X 100 Lotto instant game. It was a scratch off there too. That was his third choice of tickets.
Okay.
So he bought that ticket and won the top prize of $2 million.
Wow.
On his third choice of tickets. Decided just to buy it because he wanted to buy a lottery ticket.
Hey,
He
good.
didn't have his 2 usual ones.
Yeah, he had a special feeling, and he knew he had to buy a scratch-off, and, it worked out.
The itch was returned.
He scratched his itch.
Yep. Over in Virginia now, we have a pit stop turning into a jackpot. A quick pit stop for Gary Kimball and his wife during their road trip to the shore of Virginia. They pulled into a rest stop, bought a lottery ticket, the Super Sevens lottery ticket, and as he was scratching off the numbers, he started noticing that he was winning.
Wow, okay.
He won the top prize of $177,777.
That was a good pit stop.
As according to that game, Super Sevens. So it was all sevens.
Wow, that was great.
He beat the odds of 1 in 1.632 million to win the top prize just by pulling into a rest stop.
So,
Yeah, you see a lottery ticket
Good.
agent in
Hey.
the rest stop, you might want to consider doing that.
I'll check it out.
So congratulations to all our winners this week. Keep those press releases coming into the show, info@turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll continue doing these segments. And we're seeing more and more jackpots being reported, and a lot of them are coming in to us, and we're just going to talk about them.
The book report is next, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. This week's Turnpike Sports Pro Pick segment is brought to you by BetMGM Online Sportsbook. Get ready to turn big plays into paydays. New customers, start with a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Simply sign up with promo code Turnpike, make a deposit, and place your first wager. If the bet loses, you'll receive the amount of your wager back in free bets. That's a risk-free bet up to $1,000 with your first deposit at BetMGM Online Sportsbook when using our code Turnpike when you register. Bet with confidence and go all in on all the action with the king of sportsbooks, BetMGM. Must be at least 21 years or old to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. New customers only. Problem gambler. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to our final NFL pick segment for the regular season.
Where we're not doing NFL picks.
We are not doing picks,
not doing
but it
picks.
is the pick segment for the NFL season. We got to do a little recap.
We're going to go over our picks.
Yeah, the way I kind of lost this entire season, which is really just still bothers me that I had the lead all the way up until the final 2 weeks of the season, and I just couldn't win a game after that.
For me, the Super Bowl was both good and bad. I nailed the I nailed the game itself. The prop bets I did terrible on, but I actually nailed the game. So.
I won none of my prop bets off for the show.
Oh, no, I won none of my prop bets for the show either. I don't think I won too many outside of the show either, but I had the Bengals plus 4.5, and I had the under, so I did great with that.
I did the plus 4.5 Bengals, which I won. I did the over. I have to admit, I came very close to that OBJ prop bet that I threw out there for the show. If he didn't get injured, I think he would have hit that 65.5 yard receiving there. But, again, might as well just do this for our Super Bowl picks and props as a recap. I went 1-4. You went 2-3.
Mm-hmm.
Final season tally. You won the season again.
Okay.
35-29-3. All right. And I finished 29-37-1, just about a mirror image of you.
Okay.
Which is, it still sickens me, the fact that I had the lead all the way up to the last 2 weeks of the season, and I ended the season 0-6 the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
That just killed me. But it was great. It was actually one of the better Super Bowls I've seen in a long, long time.
I'm just surprised when I'm going through my prop bets. I thought definitely I would get the 2-point conversion thing. I mean, I thought in this day and age with these two coaches all full of analytics, I thought there'd be at least 1 2-point conversion try. There wasn't even a try.
Technically, according to some of the books, I got credited when that missed extra point.
Yeah.
When the holder threw it, it became a 2-point conversion attempt.
Yeah. But other than that, and then I am surprised there was no challenges. I was very surprised, especially with Sean McVay. I think
he's Mr. Challenge.
He is the challenge guy. So I was very surprised there was no challenges. Some questionable calls, which were, I guess, were unchallengeable.
Going back to McVay,
Yep.
He didn't use all his timeouts either.
No, there was a bet that that I put a little bit of money on. That the LA Rams would use all 6 of their timeouts, and they used all 3 in the first half. But I don't think they used the timeout in the second half.
No, they didn't.
So
Again, actually, the one prop bet that actually turned out to be a really good one was the field goal length under.
Okay.
I was really surprised that the kid on the Bengals, McPherson, who, by the way, did you see what he did for the entire halftime? He was out there watching the show. He wasn't in the locker room.
Yeah, well, he's a kicker.
Yeah, no. He
You know what? Don't question kickers and how they operate. Let them be the way they are.
He was
Don't
having a
talk
good
to him,
time.
Don't touch him.
He was having a good time.
Especially him. I mean, he has been in such a zone lately. You just don't want to talk to him and mess him up. And one of the prop bets that did very well that I know a lot of people did was McPherson over 1.5 field goals.
I did total field goals over 2.5. I got that one.
Yeah.
So
one I didn't even touch.
Very interesting choices of prop bets.
Yeah. Going back to the actual total of the game, I bet the under earlier in the week, and I'm listening to everyone on the radio. Oh, this is trending over. This is trending over. And I was like, oh no, I took the under. I was getting a little worried, but I'm not going to change it. But I something about the Super Bowl that early on everyone gets nervous and a lot of people don't score. Yeah, they had that one touchdown in the first quarter, but that's when I started to worry a little bit.
I don't think it was anybody nervous.
I
think it was the Bengals defense playing extremely well against the run.
Oh, absolutly.
The run shut everything
Rams
down, and
run.
they
were trying to.
The offensive line for the
they were really
Bengals,
trying to.
both lines, the offensive line and the defensive line, the Bengals really surprised me. They played extremely well, except the offensive line to the end of the game.
Yeah, the offensive line kind of fell apart in the second half.
Yeah,
so
especially in the last quarter where they had 4 drives, no points, no nothing. And by the way, Aaron Donald, I think that stop on that 3rd and 2 run by Pirine, where he just stopped him short, that was the key ending play of the game.
As soon as the game ended, I thought he's a lock for MVP.
No, I thought it was Kupp. I thought it was Kupp.
Well, it certainly wasn't going to be Stafford because he threw 2 interceptions. Kupp, he didn't reach 100 yards, but
2 touchdowns.
He had 2 touchdowns in that big fourth down run,
not to
which
mention
probably
drawing
won the game.
Not to mention drawing 3 penalties.
Sure,
inside the 10-yard line there. Boy, the
one
Bengals.
One was a little questionable, but
they
I guess it all evened out in the end.
If you think about it, all through the game, the refs were letting them play, and then at the end of the game, they tightened it up, especially on the Rams' final drive. People are wondering about that situation, but you know what? Again, the Bengals got away with the face mask on that huge touchdown play.
I heard commentary on the radio after the game, and they felt, it's the refs were letting them play all game, and then they kind of tightened up, like you said, in the last minutes of the game. And when a lot of people were saying it's too bad we have to talk about the refs at the end of this game, but
I thought the refs did a great job all the way up until the last.
There were some, I did. Well, the first play for the Bengals in the second half, they grabbed I can't believe he missed that one. That was more obvious than the supposed holding at the end of the game, but
I guess it
evens it out.
I guess you can say that last drive with all the penalties against the Bengals was the makeup call for that huge face mask miss that they had at the beginning of the half. So, but anyway,
well, like I said, last week I said it's going to be a field goal game, and it was. I told people I thought the score was going to be 24-21. It turned out to be 23-20. But
you were close.
Yeah.
A couple of big bets to really talk about. Everyone was watching Mattress Mac. He put $9.5 million on the Bengals money line all the way around to win the Super Bowl.
I wasn't sure if that was money line or spread, but you're saying it's money line?
I looked it up again. I had to double check because I was surprised he did money line, but it was all money line bets. $9.5 million. He did $5 million at Caesars. He did 4.5 over in Louisiana, as a matter of fact, I believe.
But let me tell you something: the publicity he's getting for his furniture store, I mean, he's making that up.
He went from potentially winning $16.2 million, to losing 9.5, and he was actually winning until that final drive.
Sure.
He would have won that. Everybody knows the musician Drake.
Yes.
He put down $1.25 million total in Bitcoin at stake.com, which is in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually had to split it. He split it up into 3 different bets. This is what he had. $472,000 on the Rams to beat the Bengals. That was a money line. He won that. $393,636 on Odell Beckham to get at least 62.5 yards.
You didn't get that.
No, he got hurt. And then $393,000 for Beckham to score a touchdown, which he won.
Yes.
As a matter of fact,
And this was all in Bitcoin, huh?
This was all Bitcoin. And as a matter of fact, Beckham scored the first touchdown of the game.
We call it Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. What's the proper term?
He used Bitcoin.
He used Bitcoin.
And I saw this on Twitter before the game started, and a couple of different outlets reported it, and thank all of them for reporting this. A BetMGM customer in Vegas put down 3 big bets on the Rams. $1 million on the Rams first half minus 2.5, which he won.
Mm-hmm.
$1 million on the Rams first quarter minus 0.5 point, which he won.
Okay.
And $1 million Rams first half total over 13.5 points, which he lost.
Yeah.
By 0.5 point.
So I guess he made out, right?
Yeah. So both this guy and Drake each did 2 out of 3. Mattress Mac lost both his bets. But it was a fun game, and I hope next year. Also, it was the second year in a row that the team playing in their home stadium won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And also, what was the other little stat with the team that wins the coin toss loses the game? That's 8 times in a row now.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
but I guess the odds are out for next year's Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
Kansas City and the Bills, right, are top in the list.
The Chiefs are something like 15-1 or something like that, or something. A couple different places have them. It's the Chiefs, the Bills, and then the Rams are again there.
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. How about your Jets?
They're 32nd.
Okay, they're the very bottom.
I saw BetMGM had them at 25,000.
Wow.
Plus 25,000 to win.
Goodness. Okay.
I actually may throw some more money on some of these other teams because Cincinnati started the year at plus 12.5. So 125 to 1.
Okay.
So it may be worth putting some money on some of the low level guys.
Yeah, I have to look it over. Well, that'll do it for our pick segment for the year, huh? Boy,
until we figure out what we're going to do for the pick segment next show.
I guess we have to look at college basketball now. But stick around. The book report's next, so we'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we talk about the national and the state sports betting reports. We discuss launches. I guess you also got to say we discuss openings, because not only are there launches, but there are openings of retail books from different places around the country.
And one in a restaurant, too.
Yes.
Which was shocking to me.
That was an interesting one.
Strange, but okay.
We've got some more stats coming out of Louisiana from GeoComply.
Okay.
A lot of deals to talk about, a lot of legislation that occurred over the past week. And you would think with the Super Bowl this past week, a lot of stuff would be focused more on the game than anything else. But I have to admit, there was a flurry of activity right before the game where books opened.
Well, it was a bad dash to get the, Super Bowl money,
Yeah, I guess so.
You had to get the Super Bowl
on the
money.
retail side.
I mean, if you're not doing the Super Bowl or March Madness or like World Series or big events like that, you might as well take your time and open it up whenever you want. But, if you want to make the big money, you have to hit these big sports betting events.
Well,
nothing's bigger than the Super Bowl.
You got to make the distinction. We're talking retail.
Well,
because
I'm thinking
online,
anything.
I know some of other books launched online, but really for the retail books, the Super Bowl was the key for a lot of the retail side of activity. But we did have a lot of benchmarks over the last month here. New York became the 11th state. New York's a monster.
Yeah,
already it's a monster. I'm going to be very curious to see what happens after March Madness, to see what happens with that market, because right now it's all about customer acquisition.
Oh yeah. Well, you were saying what were they the 11th state of what?
11th state to clear $2 billion all-time handle.
God.
And they've only been around for, what, 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
5 weeks? Is it 5 weeks now?
Well, this was at the end of January.
Yeah, okay. All right. But unbelievable.
They joined New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Illinois, Indiana, Colorado, Michigan, Tennessee, Virginia, and Iowa to pass the $2 billion in all-time handle mark.
Wow.
It's amazing when you sit there and you talk about on all-time handle, and you're only discussing a couple of weeks, really. In the grand scheme of
I'm
things.
trying to figure out what their yearly take will be. I mean, it's just blowing my mind right now what they're doing over the past couple of 4 or 5 weeks. Can you imagine 52 weeks when they total that one up?
Again, I honestly think you got to see a decline. I mean, there's no way you can maintain this level of activity.
Hey,
I mean,
I hope
you're
they
going
do.
to ebbs and flows. No,
I'm sure there's going to be lulls and things like that. But I mean, yeah, but their lull will be some other state's high. That's how incredible these numbers are. Even their lowest day will probably be the best day for a smaller state.
One of their weeks can match a state
Sure.
high. I mean, you're talking, if you compare New York to states like Rhode Island, New Hampshire,
yeah,
South Dakota, which doesn't really have too much sports betting other than in their casinos in Deadwood, you're looking at probably New York is going to constantly be greater than some of those other states. I don't know what the competition is going to be like between New Jersey, Arizona, Nevada, even Michigan. Michigan is doing well too, but nothing like what New York has been doing. Speaking of, we just talked about all these other states. Illinois passed the $7 billion mark in handle in 2021 for yearly handle. $7 billion.
That's incredible, yeah.
See, that's another one where it's going
and
to
New
be...
York is going to blow that one away.
Yeah,
so,
in yearly handle. Yeah. They had over $780 million in sports betting handle in December alone. And December was the state's third consecutive month with more than $780 million in handle.
Great. I mean, that's another big population state. I mean, Chicago. I mean, you're going to get a lot of bettors from Chicago, and there's other big towns in Illinois too. So, population size is key.
Well, Illinois became the third best market in 2021. In December of 2021, New York and New Jersey were 1 and 2 respectively. Then you had Pennsylvania and Michigan 4 and 5.
Oh my God! Well, where's Nevada at in all this?
Don't know.
Oh boy! Hello, Nevada. Is anyone there, Nevada?
You got to think with Illinois. Illinois is going to drop that in-person registration requirement too.
Well, that's great. You have to. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You want people to bet online, and so don't make it hard for them to register. If you're going to let them complete the registration process online. If you're going to go online, go full boat online and make them allow them to register online.
I'm just wondering. I've always
By the way,
seen...
if no one knows what I'm talking about, a lot of states have this. Well, Illinois and Nevada used to have this. Nevada still has it, right?
Yes.
They're still stupid enough to have it. That when you register for an online and mobile sports book, you register, but then you have to go and physically travel to a retail sports book in order to complete your registration process. And that's silly and stupid and ridiculous and crazy.
Well, the one thing I've noticed, and I've always read these reports, everybody's reported on it, I've seen the reports themselves, regarding the Nevada in-person registration, from what I've been understanding, no one's asked for it to be waived.
Because everyone likes it when they walk in the door. You know, they want to get people inside the properties.
And now without the mask mandate, hopefully they get
that's
some.
Great.
What was it? We were listening to. I don't know what we were listening to the other day, where somebody said that they're now planning trips to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas because the mask mandate was lifted.
Okay, well, that's weird, but whatever.
Well, they weren't going to go with the mask.
Okay. Well,
so now a whole bunch of people have changed plans to do the to go to the Super Bowl. I guess this is going to be a really big thing for March Madness coming up for Nevada.
Oh yeah, I would think so. I mean, everything was declining anyway, so every state was getting rid of their mask mandates. So, I don't think there was going to be any masks anywhere for March Madness. But I guess in time for the Super Bowl, I guess Nevada wanted that to happen, which is fine. I mean, the numbers are trending in the right direction. So, hopefully this thing is behind us. The worst is behind us, and we can move on. But a lot of people are very happy with the mask mandate gone.
Well, speaking of moving on, Indiana reported their January numbers, and they had a couple records. This is January now. We just finished Illinois. They're still in December. This is Indiana, January of 2022.
Illinois is in December.
Right.
Indiana is giving
January
out
2022.
January. Okay. They really got to get on the same thing. All these states have to get on the same schedule. I mean, keeping track of these is crazy because one state is, the last month, another state's 2 months ago. What's the one that really is back behind it? Is it Arizona? Arizona really is a couple months behind. So,
well, okay. Regardless of that, do you want the benchmark for Indiana or do you want the records?
Indiana. Give me the Indiana
benchmark
January numbers. Okay, well, give me the benchmark first, then give me the record.
And this was because of the January numbers.
Okay.
Indiana became the 5th state behind New Jersey, Nevada, Illinois, Pennsylvania to surpass $500 million in gross operator revenue.
Wow, that's great. You would never think Indiana because you don't think of, big cities in Indiana and a lot of population. But, apparently they love their sports betting and they're really throwing down some money there.
I'm actually waiting to see what the Colts do with sports betting. I know they have some deals in place, but I don't think they've actually done anything with like a sports betting lounge or anything like that.
They probably will.
At some point they have to.
There's too much money in it.
But regarding their records, here's another benchmark. There was two today.
Two benchmarks. Okay.
Indiana became the 7th state, joining New Jersey, Nevada, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and New York, to post a $500 million monthly handle. They had a handle of $500,138,000 in January.
Which I'm assuming is another record. Is a record for Indiana, a state record for Indiana.
The total handle over $500 million was a record.
Okay.
They also did a mobile record.
Okay.
$465.5 million.
Okay.
Never been that high before. That was about 94% of the total handle.
Well,
that goes to the mobile is king kind of.
Oh, absolutely. I don't. What is it? Mississippi? They have retail sportsbook and no mobile sportsbooks.
They have mobile in at least one of the casinos. Right
Okay.
now.
All right. Only on that property.
Right, and the legislation that was proposing mobile sports betting statewide failed.
Unbelievable.
Couldn't get it out of committee.
Unbelievable. Mobile's king. Mobile's king.
Well, again, there's a lot of people who are against it, especially down south.
Casino owners are against it because they want people walking in on their property. That's what it is.
Well, speaking of down south, Louisiana, like I teased at the beginning of the book report, GeoComply released a couple more stats on the launch of Louisiana, and this was the failed betting attempts from people outside the legal geolocation area.
Oh, that's interesting. So people who were outside the geolocation. Well, Louisiana is kind of weird because some parishes allow mobile sports betting. Some parishes don't allow mobile sports betting. And when I say parish, I mean counties in any other state.
Yeah, I think it's 54 or 59, something like that allow it.
So I'm assuming people from parishes who live in where the parish doesn't allow mobile sports betting tried to bet in a parish that
Well,
allows.
not just the parishes.
Okay. Out of state, huh?
Yes. Just so everyone's clear, if and I'm sure a lot of people listening to this understand what I'm going to say right now. When GeoComply releases data on a map, they have geolocation pinpoints of where the sports betting transactions legally occurred, and then they have the red pinpoints where sports betting transactions tried to occur, but they're not legal.
So you're saying they're tracking people out of the state?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See, I assumed it was people from parishes that were trying to bet, and the parish didn't allow sports betting.
Not only.
Okay. So what was
geolocation fails?
So what was their statistics?
They had geolocation fails located in Texas, Mississippi, and the parishes where it was illegal to do some sports betting.
Texas, huh?
Well, that's where a lot of people are coming from to bet in Louisiana. They're saying East Texas is crossing over into Louisiana.
Well, apparently they're not crossing over far enough.
Well, a lot of people don't want to leave there. Well, they
tough.
sign up for it and they go back home.
Hey, Texas, vote your politicians in who allow. By the way, who allow casinos. They don't even have casinos.
Well, they can't
in Texas.
They don't have anything on the schedule for 2022. The next time they can start talking about legalizing gambling and also sports betting is 2023.
That's what I mean. You might want to check with your politicians to see who's allowing what. I mean, first they got to get casinos, which I assume they're going to get pretty soon. They have to. I mean, I can't believe Texas doesn't have any casinos. They're having problems with their poker rooms. They're shutting them down in Dallas. And now, sports betting. You actually have to physically travel to another state to sports bet. Well, it looks like some of them aren't even going into another state.
If really nothing changes between now and the next legislative session, which is in 2023, sports betting at the earliest in Texas could occur in 2025.
Okay.
So we're a couple years away from Texas. I mean, for casinos, a lot of people in Texas go up to, WinStar up in Oklahoma, and they just cross over some of the borders and go to the next state over. They're used to doing that. Now for sports betting, now they can cross over into Louisiana.
Louisiana. Apparently people from Texas thought they can stay in Texas and just log in.
Or maybe they got close to the border and thought they would be fine. Same thing with Mississippi. Mississippi, you just said it. They don't have statewide mobile betting, so they're trying to do things too.
Yeah.
And there's a demand for.
And by the way,
it's a revenue maker for states.
It's a good indication, Mississippi, Texas, you're losing money. You're losing money to Louisiana. The same problem was a couple years ago before New York got mobile sports betting. They came into New Jersey, and apparently New Jersey's handle was 20% of derived from the people who traveled from New York. So if you don't have mobile sports betting, you're just losing money. You're losing money to your neighbor state.
Well, again, it's a matter of, I don't know the thinking behind some of this because I'm not against any of it. I don't know the background of the positions these guys take when they oppose sports betting.
Look, for Mississippi, you got sports betting already.
Yeah.
You might as well do the whole thing, Go the whole way, Texas got to get their act together in so many ways before they have sports betting, so.
Or you can do what's going on in Pennsylvania and open a sports book in a restaurant.
That's unbelievable. I just love that. Chickies and Pete's, which is a local chain around here in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and also in Atlantic City.
Well, that's
there's
New
a couple.
Jersey.
Well, I know, but they're in Atlantic City, but they're usually around the Philadelphia area and western side of New Jersey.
There's like 20, 25.
I didn't know there was that many, but
something like that. Yeah,
but it's it's a great restaurant. It's a sports bar. I think it's been voted best sports bar by Sports Illustrated. I don't know how many years. And now they actually I don't know where Malvern is. I know it's in Chester County. I'm not even sure where that is. But now they actually have a sports book. And when I say sports book, I don't mean just kiosks, right? They have tellers.
They have 4 tellers.
Yeah, they have windows.
And multiple kiosks.
They have windows.
It's actually located in a room adjacent to the bar and restaurant.
It's great.
You can actually sit at the bar and look at the sports book.
It's outstanding. I love it. We have a Chickies and Pete's pretty close to us in Bordentown, New Jersey. And I was like, whoa, why don't they do that here?
Historic Bordentown.
It would be great.
Chickies and Pete's can make it historic for another reason. If they put a sportsbook in that one.
I would love it. Do Bordentown next.
But again, this is not their first attempt at this. They tried to do a sportsbook in the Chickies and Pete's in South Philly, and that was turned down. So the Malvern is a brand new Chickies and Pete's location. It's attached to, or it's near the Parks mini casino out there.
Okay.
So
again, I have.
By the way, Chickies and Pete's and Parks have a great working relationship.
Yeah.
Anywhere you see Chickies and Pete's, there's going to be a Parks mentioned somewhere along the. Even the ones that are anywhere near Parks casinos.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like I said, I'm checking where Malvern is. I don't. I'm in New Jersey now, and I still don't know where Malvern is.
Well, while you're looking up the Malvern location,
I'm looking at the Malvern.
Again, the Chickies and Pete's location for the sportsbook, they had a soft opening on February 9th of last week. So they're up and running just in time for the Super Bowl. Also in Pennsylvania, PointsBet Sportsbook launched.
Okay.
So that is now the 10th state for PointsBet where they're operating. Besides Pennsylvania, they're in Michigan, New York, New Jersey, Iowa, Illinois, Colorado, Indiana, West Virginia, and Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of openings,
they're about 10 miles from Newtown.
Yeah.
Newtown is
it's not that far from
Newtown is a really great place in Pennsylvania. If you want to know what Newtown looks like, go take a look at M. Night Shyamalan's Signs. With who's in that? Mel Gibson. Yeah,
where they're having the pizza.
It was actually filmed in Newtown, so it's
on the main street.
So Malvern, I would guess, is about 10 miles from Newtown.
The majority of that movie was filmed in Bucks County.
Yeah.
Speaking of openings, we have the permanent sportsbook opened up in the Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
The FanDuel Sportsbook, they did their soft opening on February 10th at 9 a.m. The one thing I like about this sportsbook, and it reminds me a lot about the Borgata in Atlantic City, it's a sportsbook and a racebook still.
Good.
You don't see that paired up too often in a lot of places. There's not a lot of racebooks.
So where is this? This is Mohegan Sun?
This is the Mohegan Sun.
Okay.
This is the brand new permanent FanDuel Sportsbook.
I always get Mohegan Sun and Foxwoods mixed up because they're about 10 minutes away from each other, right?
Well, Foxwoods has the two-story DraftKings.
Yeah. That one's already open, right?
That was open a while ago.
Okay.
This is the brand new FanDuel Sportsbook, which, judging by the renderings that I've seen in some of the pictures, it's huge. But it's one floor.
Okay.
It actually reminds me of the one in the Meadowlands. The bar?
Yep.
The FanDuel bar there. That one. So, very similar in build and structure like that. So, if you like the one in Meadowlands, you're going to like the one in Mohegan Sun.
Great.
Another big launch was Puerto Rico.
Yes, I saw that.
BetMGM is the first sportsbook to launch in Puerto Rico at the Casino del Mar of the La Concha Resort Hotel in Condado.
Now
I had to read that because I could not remember all those words.
Now, is that the officially first licensed sportsbook in Puerto Rico?
Book, yes.
Retail, okay.
Yes. They don't have mobile yet.
Well,
it's a retail book.
Well, then it's officially the first sportsbook of any kind.
I've actually learned to make a distinction now.
Okay.
So, and again, there's no distinction when there's no other books, mobile or retail otherwise. WynnBET, we just talked about Louisiana a little bit. WynnBET launched in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
We have Caesars doing a deal with a couple of the tribes in Washington State to launch retail sports betting. As a matter of fact, one book opened on the Thursday before the Super Bowl, and another one opened up on the Friday before the Super Bowl in two different locations. And I just want to make sure I get these right here. Yep. The Caesars Entertainment partnered with the Muckleshoot Casino, the Spokane Tribe Casino, and its sister property, and I'm going to mispronounce this, Chalawa Casino, for in-person sports betting. They're planning on launching mobile sports betting at some point, but those locations have retail betting. They opened up one after the other, Thursday then a Friday.
I hope someone does a survey of all the sports books that have either launched or opened up retail right before the Super Bowl, like 7 days before the Super Bowl. I'm just hearing all these openings, all these launches, and it looks like they were really, really aiming for the Super Bowl, which is fine, which is a good business move. But I'm just curious to see how many actually launch like within a week of the Super Bowl.
Well, speaking of deals that happened before the Super Bowl, we have the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation making the very first deal with the NFL in Canada. The Ontario Lottery and Gaming and Proline, which is its online platform for sports betting, were named an official retail lottery and sportsbook partner of the NFL in Canada.
Okay.
Rush Street announced a deal between their Bet Rivers, Louisiana sportsbook and the NBA's New Orleans Pelicans.
A lot of Louisiana news.
Louisiana is the brand new market.
Boy.
Rush Street also introduced 2 brand new ambassadors. You have local media guy Jimmy Ott, very popular guy down there.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Former NFL wide receiver and Louisiana native Brandon Stokely.
Oh, okay. I remember Brandon Stokely.
Going up the country a little bit, we have Fubo Gaming doing a market access agreement with the Cleveland Cavaliers, making Fubo Sportsbook an official mobile sports betting partner of the team when sports betting does launch in Ohio. They already have a deal with the Cavaliers in place for Fubo Gaming.
Okay.
And also Fubo TV. Also, Fubo Gaming announced it secured market access agreements for the Fubo Sportsbook in Mississippi, Louisiana, Missouri through a deal with Caesars Entertainment. The Sportsbook is live in Iowa and Arizona currently right now. They're doing a Road to New Jersey promo as we're speaking.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they're doing some kind of tweet, if you retweet it and you're a member of the Sportsbook or something like that, you can be entered into a drawing for a Jets jersey.
Oh, okay. Hey, well, do we have a code for Fubo?
BetFlash.
BetFlash, yeah. Sign up using BetFlash.
That's Iowa right now.
Iowa, yeah. Sign up using BetFlash.
You bet 20, you get $150 plus a free month of Fubo TV, which, by the way, I do highly recommend. Fubo TV is great.
I love Fubo TV. That is just great.
BetMGM renewed its deal with the NHL for BetMGM and MGM as official sports betting and resort partners with the league. Entain bought Avid Gaming. There's no other way to say that. They bought it. Avid Gaming runs the sports betting website Sports Interaction in Canada, which is, according to a lot of people, one of the biggest sports betting sites in Canada, longest running, very respected brand up there.
Seems like a lot of news out of Louisiana and Canada now.
Well, Canada is getting close to their launch.
Yeah.
Canada's getting close to their launch. Betway did a deal with the Milwaukee Bucks, multi-year partnership, naming Betway as the official gaming and betting sponsor for the team. The deal includes digital assets, some signage deals. We had an interesting deal with PlayUp. PlayUp announced an agreement with the Panther City Lacrosse Club of the National Lacrosse League, designating PlayUp as Panther City founding partner, fantasy sports partner, and eSports partner. It's unusual to see an eSports partnership thrown into these deals.
By the way, I checked out National League Lacrosse. It was pretty good. I saw the Philadelphia and Baltimore, I think, were playing. It was pretty good.
I don't know how many teams are in it. So.
I don't know. Yeah, no, but I know. I'm it was one of those things. I'm flipping through the TV. I was like, oh, hey, lacrosse is on. So I watched about an hour of lacrosse.
Speaking, I think we even referenced it, or I referenced it earlier, South Dakota. South Dakota State Senate passed a proposal narrowly that would allow voters to approve statewide mobile sports betting on the 2022 ballot that's coming up in November. If that's passed by the House, it'll be on the ballot for people to actually vote on getting it out of just Deadwood casinos.
Great.
Because right now it's just stuck in Deadwood.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people would like it outside Deadwood a little bit.
Yeah, I would guess.
So, and one last note, Bally's. On January 25th, the chairman of Bally's actually made an offer to buy out everybody else from Bally's and take it private.
Okay.
So Bally Corporation has formed a special committee, and they're going to be reviewing and evaluating the proposal from Standard General, which is Soo-Young Kim's, who's the Bally Corp chairman. That's his company, and he's the managing partner of Standard General. So
Okay.
they're going to be examining that deal that was on the table, or the offer that's on the table, to see exactly whether or not Bally's can go private.
Oh.
So it'll be interesting to see, what happens with that.
We were just in Bally's in Atlantic City. That's always my fun place. That's just a great place.
Well, there are a lot of other deals to talk about, a lot of legislation to talk about. Again, we're running out of time for this week's episode. If you're watching it on TV, there's these stories that we talked about. There's a whole bunch of other stories in the ticker running by on the bottom of the screen. Please check that out. Also, the print version of the book report will be on the blog about an hour or so after this is published. Go over to turnpikesportsradio.com and click on the blog button. Also, companies, casinos, anybody, startups, press releases, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. We're inundated every week with press releases and news releases about upcoming events and startups and deals. So please keep sending those in.
Very interesting sport leagues that are emailing us. So I'm not going to say who they are, but very interesting emails. So
there's a variety of things.
We'll probably get some very interesting interviews coming up pretty soon. So we'll see what happens. Well, that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here.
Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more.
Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.